Somebody's in the waiting room and I just started recording. There we go.
I just waved and I know you can't see me, so that's ridiculous.
That's okay. I'm recording already because I was like, I've got tons to get through. And so just FYI, and I'm going to, I can't, oh yeah, I can't do it. I need to share my screen. I've got so much. I'm like, I really need to power through tonight. So here we go. Sharing the screen. I was just even pulling things up and I'm like, I'm just going to start. And here it is, week 6. Look at that, black and white, just for you, Tara. All good. Okay, and we're gonna go into present mode. Boop-a-doop-a-doop. Okay, here we go. All right, so this was, I actually did this, it was part of the 6-week Blitz, but it's also was part of the social content code that I bought. So for me, I didn't have to rewatch it. I already had crazy amounts of notes on this. And I want to, so I'm going to give you 35 ideas about what to post. And caveat, you do not have to do them all. The idea is that you pick some that you like and you work with whatever works for you. But more information is, Kat's here again. I'm looking at her. There we go. Okay, there are only 4 types of posts that you should be doing: educational, personal, motivational, and conversational, right? So educational is something that I have not been doing, and I feel like we've been scared away from doing it because for sounding too salesy, that kind of stuff. However, I have just started doing this as of last Friday. So I'll talk about that a little bit later when that type of post comes up. You want to share things of value, and how it's measured as if it's valuable is if other people share it, right? So sometimes my motivational posts get shared. That's exciting. Sometimes they don't. That's okay. So things like this can include 3 top tips to do this. And you always want to be creating posts for your avatar, right? Your perfect customer, your perfect teammate. If you don't do this, you will not win, right? So you won't. And what you want to look at is how your favorite influencers, and again, this is not something that I have done much of yet, but look at influencers and see how that they create value, right? Okay, so we want to put value into the marketplace. When we do this, we are always talking about what our products do rather than what it is. And we want to switch from being a seller to being a giver. And we all know the people out there who are sellers because their posts annoy us, they irritate us, and they make me go, ew, right? And we don't want to sound like that. And there's a fine line between offering value and being a spammer, right? So then we have P for personal. And personal, these posts are the ones that allow people to fall in love with you, right? We've got our selfies, we've got our dogs, our cats, our travel, our lifestyle. Now for this, live video is key, okay? So people love live videos because they're not rehearsed, right? Like, or they are rehearsed. Oh, hold on, I think I got somebody coming in. Nope, we don't. Or they are rehearsed, but you only have one shot, right? And that's part of why they're so genuine, is doing lives. Video is also great, right? Like, don't get me wrong, video is awesome, but live video is really key here. Then we have M for motivational. I really stayed away from these because I don't like corny memes and all that kind of stuff, but I have found a way to make these really my own. And one of those is by always picking the same font and color that I do them in. So it's very easy to take something from a meme site or whatever and then just repost it. It'll look like theirs and it'll have their little hashtag on the bottom and stuff. It doesn't really belong to you. So if you take them and make them your own, you don't have to use Canva. I do because I have a brand font and brand colors, but you don't have to. All you have to do is make sure that they always look the same. So when you're typing out a quote, you know how in Facebook you can use a green background or a pink background or an orange background or whatever, always use the same color and always use the same font. And when I'm finding these, what I'm doing is I usually pick like a theme for the month. Like October was change because all the leaves are changed. It's a really big month for change. And so I looked up motivational quotes for change. And a few of them happen to be US presidents. And that's also very topical for our people in the States. So I make 4. You don't want to do too many of these, right? So I make 4 for the month, and then I already have them in my bank, and I already have a post, and I usually try to post them on Tuesdays, but sometimes I've got juicier things happening on Tuesdays. And I have to say, as soon as I started doing these, I did start attracting more business people and more people interested in positive energy. And like I said, I really resisted it for a long time, but don't. This is a super easy one to do. Just don't always just find something that resonates with you, right? Like in November, I don't know what it'll be, but I'll figure it out, right? And find things that can make it a little vulnerable, people that you admire, something that you would quote, obviously, right? And for motivational, quotes work really well here. That's what I'm talking about. But you can also use short stories to motivate people, like short stories about your safe self. And then conversational, right? Some people are masters at this and they're not even in our industry, right? They just love to chat. And conversational ones are awesome, but you want to warn only one per week. Okay. Because it's great for your algorithm. It's great to get to know your people. It's great for you to show how much you care about your fan base, but it's not about you. And it is Facebook. And so we want to find that balance between interacting with others, but also showing all the things. So these conversational ones lower resistance and they can often start a conversation, right? So you find out that someone, again, I don't usually share like things like, but there's this one thing that Kate shared a couple weeks ago, and it was funny. It was like your royal name or something like this, and it made me laugh. So I actually shared it, and I don't usually do that, but I'm also noticing like there's a thing going around right now of like post me the color yellow or the color red, and it's getting crazy amounts of engagement, and I'm like, do this too, or do I just participate in others? I've got something else going on for this week. So but it starts the conversation, and that is always our thing. Now, planning. Look at this beautiful chart. I learned how to make a chart on Google Slides for this. Fabulous. It was actually crazy easy. I just had to find the drop down menu. But so this is kind of like what I would look at for the week. Okay. So now you are allowed to post up to 2 times a day. Okay. Don't post more than that. And you can have a variety of different things in there. I typically do post twice a day, maybe once on the weekend. So Monday, I usually have personal because something's happened on the weekend. And then I try, like I said, Tuesdays, I try to be motivational, but that doesn't always happen. So you can see like, so C is conversational. Now, and then I have now moved educational to Fridays because I have interviews with happy customers that the happy customers are going to educate about what our products do rather than me. Thank you, Fraser Brooks, because I feel like this is going to be one of the most powerful tools that I can have in my wheelhouse is to do this. And then other people can share them and all that kind of stuff. So even though there's like 2 comments on mine and Laura's interview from Friday, it's got 40 views. So people are watching it, and it's just a matter of time before all of those come together and people are like, okay, now I'm listening. There's question marks here about Saturday and Sunday because they're kind of free for alls. Like you can do what you want. You don't even have to post if you don't want to. I do like to post probably at least one of the days. I tend to do Facebook Lives on weekends, but you'll find out later that there is a better time to do that. Okay, so planning. This allows us to go from post and pray. And oh my gosh, I have had a couple that were disastrous last week that almost no engagement, almost no likes. I have really realized that my people don't like it when I share other people's stuff or I do anything that doesn't really sound like me. It's very, very interesting. So last week or the week before, we learned about tracking in Google Slides, and I have been doing that, and it is very, very clear that people love my horse. It is very, very clear. They love the stuff. I mean, I posted that thing about the foster kid from my school about 2 hours ago, and it's blowing up. So it's like it's very interesting to see. And that's a shout out, which we'll come to. That's one of the types of posts that I did. Okay. So you want to create a schedule for your posts. So I take in my planner, I've got the monthly planner at the beginning, and I actually have it written out which one I'm doing. So I don't, so I'm like, oh, I've done too many personal posts. I need to do a conversational. Oh, I need to do an educational. Oh, Tara's coming back in. Okay. I need that kind of stuff, right? So we want to create a schedule, and on Saturday, Sunday, you can take a break, or you can just kind of do whatever you want as long as it fits with the message that you're sending out. Check this out. 7 to 9 p.m. is best for Facebook Lives. I've never done a Facebook Live during that time. So that's very interesting. I get an average of 500 views on my Facebook Lives now, which I think is pretty good. Way up from a year ago. I would say it was at like 200 or 300. So, but if I did this, I was like, oh, maybe I should save my posts. But usually I do them after a run, or actually, no, I did do one, my business one that I did. I think that was around 5 o'clock on a Friday. Very interesting. Okay. And 5 pieces of quality content are way better than 15 lame ones, right? So yeah, here we're starting into our 35 ideas. It was actually 37, but I realized 2 of them had already been repeated, and I'm like, we're going to be short on time. So your story. So I will be doing this around, the first of the month. Actually, my plan is to do it on the first of the month every month. So because you are going to be famming, what's it? No, find, add, message. Okay, you're going to have all these new people that are coming in, right? You need to reintroduce them and you need to reintroduce yourself to your friends and followers once per month in a Facebook Live. You talk about what your mission is, how you got started, and your struggles and successes. So the formula is struggle, 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 success. Struggle, 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 success. Nobody cares if you are a success, 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 right? They're like, oh, that's totally unrelatable. What you want to do is share your journey in a really open and honest way but that ends with a happy ending, right? People love a happy ending. Disney knows all about this. They've made billions of dollars on it, right? Here's the thing too, is no one can judge you on your story. And if they do, time for them to go, because they are not a good friend to have, right? But you want to also take them on a journey, right? Make it interesting. Now, I have trainings on how to do good storytelling on our team page, and also on my YouTube channel, which are the Kendra Hall's how to tell a story and how to tell different types of stories. And that training has been phenomenal in even just how I do my Facebook posts. So awesome. Ugh. Okay. 2, the big reveal. I've never done this before, but I will be doing it, right? So one of the things is unboxing products. One thing we've been told time and time again is you cannot see the product logo. You can, it is okay, but we want to educate on what the products do, not what they are, right? And so we're always thinking benefit, 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 not it reduces oxidative stress or whatever, or it will do this or do that, right? This will increase energy. Yes, it does, but like, no, it will increase energy, but not like that it's from New Zealand pine bark or whatever. No, we don't care. We don't care. I bought a light ring, courtesy of Tara, and a few other things for the business. And I haven't even unboxed them because I hadn't had time, but I'm going to do my first unboxing is going to be, but it's business related, right? Maybe unboxing of the new stuff that I invested in so that I can make better videos, right? Good. Your results. Okay. So most of us are used to doing this, sharing our own results, before and afters. However, Facebook will limit before and afters apparently, so you don't want to use this too often. But again, lives and videos, right? It's so easy to hide behind a keyboard and go, hey, blah, 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 everything's so great. But to get up and be like, I'm really vulnerable and I'm scared, but I'm doing it anyways because I believe in it, way more powerful. Okay, so come up with, so again, oh wait, is that 4? I think this is number 4. Okay. We want to come up with shots that look the same. This is really interesting. So one of the things that he says is that, so like when I'm in selfies and stuff, I always take them with my right hand. So I realize I'm always on the right. And that's a good thing. You want people to be able to predict what you're doing. This is part of why having a brand colors, brand fonts and stuff, or just picking the same one every time you do a quote is really important. There's a psychological component to this in marketing where people, when they see it, they focus in on it because they're used to it, right? Like they're loyal to it, essentially. You also want to make it fun. You document your life. Having a catchy title at the top. Look at my post today about the foster care girl. I am literally blown away by the staff at my school. I am, but I would have never thought to put a title at the top. I can't believe it's finally happened. Like, what a day this has been. And then you give a space. That way now you have a title and people are like, oh, what's this about? And then they read the rest. Our main goal is to stop the scroll, flip, 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 pay attention. And that's why the videos are so great, because they tell you how many people stopped and clicked, right? I had a horse video yesterday of 2 horses frolicking in a field. I think it's got like over 300 in, but I explained in it what we did that day, how they came to the fence, how I captured it, right? Like, it's the journey of the storytelling. We always have a picture, right? Even if it's a GIF. Always think, why would somebody want to share this post, right? Somebody shared my horse post. I don't know who it was, but somebody shared it because those horses are having, like, I couldn't believe it. But I was like, but it was literally 5 minutes when I was like, I should take this out because people would enjoy this, right? It's not for my business. Those horses aren't activated, but it's beautiful what I saw. And then we want to have a hook, the story, and then offer next steps. Okay, so I can't remember which one this is. Number 4. Quotes, right? Number 4, these are motivational. Get them from events. So we have an event coming up this weekend. I'm going to be paying attention to the quotes that people say, that kind of stuff. And you'll find them podcasts and stuff. There's things that resonate with me. Sometimes I'm like, how did you know that that's exactly how I feel right now, or exactly what I needed to hear? Don't think that other people don't need to hear that, right? And then you can search for, I've talked about this on leadership, change, personal growth, like things that you like. If you think about your avatar, about who you want to attract, it's somebody who's interested in that stuff, right? And this has been working for me. So I use Canva. You don't have to. Like I said, you can just use Facebook. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Engaging questions. I have noticed my team doing this lately. Okay, so we want to fill in the blanks. Okay, so I am grateful for. The real definition of happiness is, would you rather? Okay, one of my favorite things about this, I haven't done it yet, but it's like, would you rather spend quarantine with, and it's like A, B, or C, or D. And it's like A, Jason Momoa, B, Brad Pitt, C, Idris Elba, D, my husband. There's a picture of your husband. It's funny, it's engaging, and people will laugh. And I do actually plan on doing this one. But this would you rather, like, so it gets people engaged and talking to you, and then you get to talk back with them. You get to know each other. Really, really, really good. So engaging questions are great.
I've got my noise can't.
Oh, you're not muted, but that's okay. So team get-togethers. Okay, so this is a big one. I'm super excited that we are getting together this weekend for a lot of us, right? So anytime the team is together, take a pic. And I got this hot tip from Tara, who I think got it from Fraser Brooks, is on my Facebook intro, there's all these different pictures. Every single one of them is from a team or an event. So when people first see me, they see me with these people, our team. Super cool, right? Really, really great. And what you want to show the world that we're hanging out, that it's great to be with us, that we're having a good time. Because, and I can even think of times when, like, we were in Kansas City, and I have a friend who's now a customer, but she only became one in August. And it was a year prior, and she was like, this looks like so much fun. This looks like so much fun. And I'm going, yes, it is a lot of fun, right? Because we want to add more joy into our lives. And this is one, being part of a team for many, many people brings that joy. And so we want people to think, I wish that was me. How can I get involved with that, right? And so that's why it's really important for us to do the team get-togethers. Product posts. Okay, we want to post a story of somebody else's results. You can ask permission to do that from our customer sharing group. You can ask all sorts of other things, right? Again, these kind of get repeated later, and I want to talk about them after, but someone else's big story, right? You can tell your story till you're blue in the face, but someone else's story might really, really resonate with someone else. And so that's part of why our the 3-way calls are important, why just having someone else say it other than you. And I'm really, really, really adopting this now because I've heard it's the secret sauce and I believe it. Team recognition and welcome. So I believe we have been doing this incorrectly for the last little while or the whole time. So we don't just announce, hey, welcome to the team, so-and-so, and you do this, like, this is not in our group, but rather on your Facebook wall, or so-and-so did achieve the rank of pro blah, 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 or diamond nugget or whatever it is, it doesn't mean anything to anybody outside of our organization. So what we would want to do instead is write a story about them, right? I never thought this day would finally come. Meet my friend Joe. Joe partnered with me 12 months ago, and at first it was a struggle. He almost quit 4 times. However, blah, 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 blah. So we always struggle, 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 success, right? So that is the new name of the game. Always think, I love this, what's the story before the glory? And I think that's part of why a lot of people find it difficult to relate to people who are really, really successful already in our industry, right? Or in our company, where they're like already making like 10, 20 plus grand a month. And if they're not good at sharing the story before the glory, it's really hard to relate to them, right? But if they do share that, then awesome, right? You're like, oh, oh, and it's more inspirational that way. A benefit post, educational. I don't know. Sometimes I wrote ease. I'm whipping these out really fast. I'm working every day, and I'm like, so organizationally, not so hot, but that's okay. Still lucid. Okay, so take out a piece of paper and write out all the benefits of each product. Okay, this is a great homework. What does everything do? Not like how it works, but like what does it give people? Does it give them mental clarity? Does it give them energy? Does it give them, um, a reason to get out of bed in the morning? Like it's incredible. So when we start talking about benefits, all of a sudden the story changes, right? And the vibe changes from selling to a story which is less resistant, as we know from Kendra Hall. Oh, seriously. Honestly, I think she's my favorite keynote, but also, I mean, I'm a writer, so it makes sense, but really so helpful. What problem does it solve? So you can start with, hey, what's your number one tip for reducing inflammation? Ever wonder what causes inflammation? 3 top tips to reduce inflammation. Generic, eat avocados, stop smoking, and activation, right? And you can end with, and I like this because it's kind of sassy. You got any better ideas? Let me know. Right. So that's how I read that, anyways. And I'm like, yeah, challenge people a little bit. I'm ready to get more active and be like, okay, none of this behind the scenes stuff, but like attraction marketing, I used to think it was all about like living a lifestyle that you loved and showing that you were doing things that other people want. And all of that is true, but it's also being like, I am proud to have this business, but not going like about it, but really to just being like, okay, I have this business. You can still love me even though you don't want to do it or whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay. Milestones. Facebook loves milestones. I got married. I had a baby. I bought a new house. Like, all that kind of stuff. Facebook loves them, loves them, loves them. And you can tell because the comments on congratulations go, right? So these are really, really good. So there's special sentences in algorithms. So you don't have to always, they don't have to be about those things. They can be the day you joined. I do my anniversary of the day I joined every year. I do the anniversary of my skincare every year. So this kind of stuff. So you want to make sure you have those dates. And then 1 year ago today, or I can't believe it's been 3 years. Look at what's happened in my life, that kind of stuff. 2 years ago to this day, and Facebook notices those sentences and boosts your algorithms. Caption this. I will be doing this week. This is one of my things. And because I have anytime you take a funny picture of your kid or your dog or your partner or yourself, right? Like you can make a face like, oh, and be like, caption this. And people will engage and they're going to make it funny, right? And it will help stop the scroll. People stop and they engage with you and then they move on to the scroll. But again, it's all about the top influencers. Some of the like I remember he used examples of like Kevin Hart and The Rock. Like they became uber famous because they engaged. Well, I mean, other reasons, but also because they engaged their fans so much, and their fans are like, boom, like no wonder The Rock would probably win a presidential race. Kanye, no, but The Rock probably could actually give them a run for their money. Celebrations, personal. So we want to share a win, but we don't want to do this too often, maybe once every 2 to 3 months. And find your wins of the week. When I meet with Fraser on Friday for our first, I had my coaching call with him last week. I've got homework to do this week. And then he's going to ask me, he's going to text me and be like, what were your wins of the week? And I have to tell him, which I know what they're going to be already. Well, no, I don't know yet, but I already have a really, really, really good idea. So encouragement. Okay. So this is when you go to somebody else and you say, I just want to let you know I'm proud of you. And you tell a story, or every day I'm blown away. So I did this. This is kind of similar to the shout out, but I did this for Amber about a week and a half ago. And it was, anyways, and it was like just a total love up on her. Like, I can't believe you can balance it all. You've got all this stuff going on. You've got this farm, blah, 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 whatever. Right. And people really like it. And I didn't post it to mine. I posted it to hers. Commitment every 90 days. I did my first one of these in a Facebook Live about 2.5 weeks ago. It was a Friday, and it was my 3rd anniversary. Oh no, it was the 1st year anniversary of me going part-time. So I went down from a 1.0 to a 0.8, which means I have Fridays off. Hashtag Freedom Fridays, hashtag Close on Fridays. And it's a lifestyle thing where, and I was like, and I did it about 5 o'clock, and I did this, and I talked about how I was so committed to the business and what it has done for me. And it was like 5 minutes long. And I said, I didn't say these things, these are examples, right? But I just said, I have invested in a business coach. I'm going to teach my team, and I'm doing all the things that I said I would because I'm committed. So my next one will be in the new year. Right. So about, I don't know, about probably my goals for that year. We'll see what they are. And I'm oops. So these are really, really, really powerful. I had a ton of views on that. And I had a ton of comments of people, because people really like, even if I would never reach out to somebody who said, oh my gosh, awesome job, Chrissy, that's so great, in that, because I don't want to discourage, I don't want them to think that it was a reason just for me to like approach them about the business, right? There's all these other ways to do it. I was just so grateful and everything. And then you're creating fans, because even if our products aren't for that person, they might be for somebody that they know, and people will refer you because they're a big fan. Interesting. Before and afters, I said Facebook will limit these. Use the story feature to kind of bypass that, right? I can't believe what I've just seen, this before and after. It's time for me to do another horse one. I tried to send one out today, but because Cisco's just looking so unbelievable with his movements and stuff like that. And same thing, it's Dinah's birthday. She's 11, so I have to do I'm going for a walk. I want to have her like running up a hill, literally. I'm like, what 11-year-old German Shepherd do you know who can do this, right? And then I'll show an old one of her, right? So yeah, but before and afters, when I first started out with this business, I talked to a seasoned networker, and he was said people love before and afters, and I mean I love them, right? I love befores, I love afters, I love them together, right? Like, look what I did with all my renos and stuff, right? Throwbacks. Okay, so there's Throwback Thursday. Those are always kind of nice. I actually love to do a throwback picture when I didn't look as good as I do now. That's a good one. I find a picture of me when I didn't look as good or I didn't feel as good, and I'll post that one and be like, I can't believe this was me 3 years ago. So yeah, I'm probably due for one of those pretty soon. Actually, I did one in the spring. Trending topics. Okay, so there's lots of topics that people want to talk about. Just make sure they are positive. Do not talk about elections or whatever, right? And make sure that it fits with the message that you want to set out there. Appreciation. So this is what I did for Amber. The shout out Sundays, they show gratitude, but you don't have to be a friend. Like, I would do a total shout out to Jen Sincero. I would do a shout out to Fraser Brooks. It can be a friend. It can be someone on your sideline. Hey, I can't believe this person really helped me. Or no, I'm so happy this person helped me. They had nothing to gain from it, but since we're on the same team, they really helped me out, like that kind of stuff, right? So again, loving up on people. and excitement. Okay. So excitement about something. It doesn't have to be related to like, I'm so excited to be moving into my new house, right? Like how many people, there are so many people following my journey with this new house and everything. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to do the first time before we even move in, because we take possession before we move in, I'm going to do a Facebook Live tour of the house and be like, I can't believe this space is mine. I'm so excited. You better believe that is going to have a lot of views. And yeah, so people will leverage it, right? People get excited. I'm going to do a countdown on Instagram a week before we move, like do the countdown. I'm going to do, there's a whole bunch of different things that we can do. Biggest takeaways. Okay. So again, this is like pretty much my whole way I do business is I invest and then I learn and then I teach, i.e. exhibit A, right? Like, so this is one of the best things you can do to become a leader and a mentor, because when I'm sharing what I learn, I add value. So one of the reasons I don't mention our company name when I do these is because these go on YouTube and people watch them on YouTube from other companies and they're like, oh, because I'm adding value, I'm giving them even things like I posted in other groups, like in our on our greater team, and I know people are watching them because I can see the views and they say thank you, and I'm like good. I'm like it helps me, it helps them. I'm adding value, right? So all good. Sharing what you learn is a big deal. Event posts. So virtual right now, but when we are able to all get back together, you don't want to show the actual event because it has no content and it is no value for anybody that's there. So, but a good thing to do is to go out in the break and do a live about what you just learned. What was your greatest takeaway? Like I remember from Kansas City, like I've never read the book Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy, but he was there and he explained what it was and I got it. And now our morning Blitz calls are called Eat That Frog, right? So that was incredible value to me. Funny memes. Don't do too many of these, but it is an idea. If people come to you and they know they're going to laugh, right? If they're going to feel positive energy and joy and they're going to laugh, this is cool. And this is what I would say, like kind of with that, post this or whatever. Like, but again, like when I look at like how many people engage with memes when I'm on other people's, like when I'm loving up on people and I see their stuff coming in, almost nobody comments on memes. So it's just an idea. The vulnerability post. So this was the big dare after the social content code. And you do one every 90 days. And so it gives you permission to be who you are. You basically, one of the easiest ways to do this is and it's hard because you're vulnerable, but you take a picture from a time you weren't doing well, and then you describe what was going on, and then you add a positive message at the end or a call to action or whatever it's going to be. And holy cow, did I get incredible. It was about 2011 being the worst year of my life. I had so much engagement and so much encouragement because people are used to me being like, rah, rah, look at me. I'm running. I'm this. I've got all this kind of stuff. And I realized that I stopped doing that about 3 months ago. And I have to say my engagement's gone up because people need to see that you are a real human with real fallibility, with all this kind of stuff. Like I have made mistakes and I continue to make mistakes, but I'm always working on it, right? So people won't talk negatively about you when you're being vulnerable. And if they do, get rid of them. Okay, get rid of them because they are not your friends. It is hard, especially if they are like related to them or whatever. But wow. Yeah. Okay, I like this one and I'm going to start doing it in November. I think I'll do one a month, right? Because answer a common question that you get when people are opposing the business or your products, right? It's too expensive. Address it in a Facebook Live and be like, so, hey, one of the common things, or is this a pyramid scheme? I'm going to start with that one, right? So I just saved Trish Dixon's email or her thing about it, right? So I will definitely change the way it's worded because it's not me, right? But I'm going to take a whole bunch of points from her stuff. I saved that post and I'm going to do a live about, is this a pyramid scheme? And basically it offsets those questions. We know we're going to get them anyways, right? So really, really good. Facebook Lives really help people get to know you. Do not worry about being perfect. Perfect is problematic, okay? It's a problem. Be because you're being vulnerable and alive. So if you forget what you say, which I do all the time, or what direction, like I'll think about what I want to say, but I don't have it written in front of me. I'm just like, okay, and I go off, and then later on, I'm like, oh, I forgot to say that. I'm like, not a big deal. And then you share and see. Okay, these two, worth their weight in gold for this whole training. Interviewing a customer. So, number one, you want to be clear they're not on your team and they have nothing personal to gain from doing this interview with you. We ask, how do we connect? And then have them give a legit review. I have come up with a series of questions. I changed them slightly based on who's there, but it's basically, I introduce them, say how we know each other, ask them, make sure they tell them we're on the team. And then I ask them how they found out about the products, what they felt like before, what it was like to transition, because I don't want to sugarcoat nothing. Okay. So I want them, if they say it sucks when I got activated, because sometimes for like 10% of people it does, I want them to tell that story, because we want people to know the end result, that it's worth it on the other side, right? That you might go through this. So like, it's not all, oh, sunshine and rainbows. It's like, no, I was struggling from extreme amounts of, I was so tired all the time for whatever reason, again, always compliant, right? And then all of a sudden, and then I went through this and this and this and this, and I almost gave up on it. But then after 2 months, my pain went away, or whatever it is, right? That's the story. Struggle, success, right? So that's what I am pulling out the struggle with each of the people as well, right? And then interview a distributor. Okay, I'm going to do one of these a month. So I want a team member of the month, and it will also be on Friday. So Fridays will go customer, distributor, customer, distributor. And people will get used to seeing these on Fridays, because they're called, what is I calling them? Feature Fridays, right? So who wants to be featured? I have 4 customer videos already, and I will be looking for someone to do, and I'll just take volunteers. Who wants to do it, right? And these are the questions. How do we meet? Why did you join? What do you want to tell the world? What's your vision over the next 3 years? And why do you believe everybody else should do it? And those are going to be the questions in the distributor interviews. We are so going to end early. I'm psyched. Okay, so behind the scenes, this is like you documenting your day-to-day life. One of the things that Fraser suggests is that you make a 60-second video every night before bed, just like talking about your day. And then you get to see this progression over the course of the year as to who you become. And you don't post those, obviously, unless you really want to, but that's not my deal. But you can document your day-to-day life. Family tradition posts. I just did one of these for Thanksgiving, right? You want to always tell the story and over deliver. So I talked about how we've always had turkey. And then last year we were at the ranch. And so we had these little Cornish game hens, but this year now, and so it's like, is this a new family tradition where we have Cornish game hens, right? Like it can just, people are very interested in the story of family traditions. Okay, next one, cool statistics. Did you know that 90% of people have this or do this? I can't believe that. Today, I learned that over 200 diseases, sound familiar, are connected to. Discuss them, create a conversation around them, and then you'll eventually lead to how you can help them. This is an educational one. I really realized that I don't really do educational posts, and that you need to have at least one a week or you will not win. That's what he says. Educational posts or you will not win. Educational post aimed at your avatar. Shout out to admins of groups, kind of cool, right? So you can do a shout out to, hey, I've done this. I did this with in the group, right? One of my running group. I was like, hey, half crazy mama, I just want to give you a shout out for managing this group and growing it so quickly and all that kind of stuff. And she wrote back and she was like, hey, thanks. It also lessens my chance of getting kicked out of the group, which is a real danger for. So, anyways, but making friends in groups is a different training. Yeah, and this thing, run a poll, right? Have a theme of the week and post around that same topic. So running a poll is kind of like, would you rather, right? But then people will participate in the poll. And theme of the week, like the theme of this week is lasts, right? So we had our last pumpkin carving last night. We had our last Sunday dinner as a family. I will be posting tomorrow about how I voted, like it will be like the last day I voted my riding, like, again, like there's a theme, right? And Tara, I remember, like, and this is like a post progression thing, and Tara is really, really good at post progression. Okay, so the dare of the week is to post a conversational question. Use a questions box, right? So that's an option in there, right? What is your superpower? Would you rather? If you could be granted one wish, what would it be? If there was a movie about your life, who would you play you? Whenever you want to look up conversational questions, literally Google 100 or just Google like small talk conversation starters and hundreds will pop up. And this is where I get my questions from. A lot of them I'm like, I would never ask that. So guess what? I don't use that one, right? It's pretty basic. So, but find the ones that fit like you and ask a conversational one time per week. Okay, I think that is it. Le fin. I'm gonna stop my share and stop this recording. Thank you. I hope you found a value in it. And I'll see you next week for Unit 4.